I was born in 1867 to William and Sally Bolling, and I was the fifth of 11 children born to our prominent Wytheville family. And I'm a published author and poet, but you probably would not be interested in my story if it weren't for my sister, Edith Bolling Wilson. Let's see. I am the older sister, but I was often overshadowed by Edith. However, I did not mind, because it gave me time to pursue my interests, reading and writing. Now, we grew up reading the Bible morning and night, and we studied the works of Dickens and Shakespeare. Now, since there were so many of us in our family, I wrote plays that we produced and directed for our family and relatives. Now, when our father, Judge Bolling, died, my mother, 3 younger brothers, and I moved to Washington, D.C., where we could be with Edith and her husband, Norman Galt. Now, Edith always took care of her family, and we needed her help. But when Edith became a widow, we traveled to Europe together, and there I was able to help her. I spoke many different languages and made it easy for us to navigate through the different countries. When Edith first began seeing President Woodrow Wilson, I must tell you, my mother and I were not happy. He might have been the President of the United States, but he was a Presbyterian, and our family were staunch Episcopalians. We felt that the Presbyterians were only slightly removed from the Methodists. We soon grew to love him, though, because he and Edith were soulmates. Now, I'm a true romantic. However, I never married, probably because I was in ill health most of my life. I had a tender heart, literally and figuratively. I also had a keen awareness for my surroundings, and writing was my second nature. I published many short stories, in Scribner's magazine particularly, but I don't like to speculate on the fact that my popularity might have something to do with my connection to the White House. Although I wrote many short stories, I do feel that poetry was my favorite genre. And to share a little insight with you on my poetry, I shall read to you a little excerpt from one of my most tender poems, Over There. Over There was written in 1918 and published in the Red Cross magazine. It was written because I was heartbroken over the death of our soldiers in the Great War. Over there, under the sky, here on the field I lie. I catch at my throat and gasp and choke. There is no air, only stench and smoke, and wounds that sicken and drip and soak. I look again, there's a gleam of white, as fresh as the fallen snow and white. It touches me on the breast and the head. I think of it an angel with bright wings spread to bear me to heaven when I am dead. Now when it is your time, I hope an angel with bright white wings comes and takes you up to heaven too. Thank you.